It's winter. It's getting cold. You know how it's getting cold, actually? I'm wearing a hoodie, man. And let me tell you something. I do not wear a hoodie unless there's icicles hanging off my balls. Hello! Today we're going to be checking out the worst winter storms of Christmas past. I know it's not Christmas. It's not even Halloween. But winter's winter. Cold is cold. Storms are storms. Hello is hello. Hello. Let's go. Before I click play, ladies and gentlemen, I would absolutely love it if you guys could click a little like and then maybe click a little subscription to the channel. We're pushing for 300k. We might just get there. Who knows?
And today, in honor of the holiday... Hey everyone, Steve here. Welcome back to Weatherbox. And today, in honor of the holiday season, it's gonna get a little cold.
Jesus. I don't think I've ever seen icicles in real life.
Christmas vary wildly across North America, and everywhere you look, the data used to create maps such as this one is inconsistent at best. While it's true that you have less than a 5% chance of seeing snow on Christmas in Corpus Christi, it's not a guarantee that you won't. And with cyclical climatic factors such as La Nina, it does occasionally happen. Today, we're gonna look at some of the worst historical winter storms in the US that resulted in a considerably white Christmas. Now, this is not a comprehensive list. I have 7 diverse snowstorms here for you today, and if you think I missed an important one, be sure to share it with us in the comments below. First is the Denver snowstorm of 1982. Denver gets a modest amount of snow each year, about 55 inches total. Most of
I'm sorry, is that modest, brother? Near the houses in here covered? Oh my God. So whenever this happens, like, how do you do anything? How do you go anywhere? Are schools closed? Is work? Do you not go to work? Like, what happens, man? Because this is, Jesus. I ain't leaving my bed if that looks like that outside.
55 inches total. Most of it actually falls in the months of March and April, but their snowfalls are usually much smaller amounts spread over a period of about 6 months. When you look at Denver geographically, it's a very interesting feat that a major snowstorm could occur there. It's located on the leeward side of the Rocky Mountains, which is significant. Westerly winds from the Pacific Ocean flow up and over the Rockies, and the moisture leaves the air as rain and snow on the western side. This creates what is known as a rain shadow on the eastern side, which is where Denver is located. So in order to have a lot of snow drop on Denver in a short period of time, you need winds to blow out of the east. This can happen one of 2 ways. The flow of air around high pressure systems is clockwise, while the flow around low pressure systems is counterclockwise. So if there is a high pressure system to the north or a low pressure system to the south, winds will be blowing out of the east. The next ingredient is moisture that can condense and freeze into snow as the air moves up the mountainside. This is where the low pressure system has the advantage. The general weather pattern that causes this involves moisture surging north from the Gulf over the Great Plains. Then, due to the warm Gulf air clashing with cold, dry Rocky Mountain air, a mid-latitude cyclone can spin up on the border.
Where's the Rocky Mountains? Like down here?
That moist air counterclockwise around the low center. This moist air meets the cool air to the north, condenses as it rises up the mountain, and dumps feet of snow in the Denver metro. So this is exactly what happened Christmas Eve 1982. What was forecasted to just be a couple inches of snow ended up as
like, what do you even do? You can get out there and you can shovel all you want, man. Put the shovel down, put the kettle on. You know what I mean? Get a cup of tea made. Just let the sun do the job. You know, today is cancelled, at least. State of this. Jesus. I think that's the car under there, by the way. I think the car is covered underneath there.
Up as 2 feet of accumulation with snowfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour on Christmas Eve. The wind chill caused by 50-mile-an-hour straight-line winds set at negative 35 degrees. Holiday travelers by the thousands were stranded at the airport for the entire day as 10-foot snow drifts made travel around the metro impossible. As unexpectedly devastating as it was, there were many stories of strangers who were stranded who came together to help each other get back home on Christmas Day. So you see what can happen when a strong mid-latitude cyclone forms to the south of Denver in the middle of winter.
It brings people together.
But the mid-latitude cyclone is on a mission, and that mission is to get across the continental US. So, as you can guess, it causes a lot of problems for people in its path, particularly on that northwestern side. A prime example of this is the winter storm of late December 2004. Throughout these 4 days, 2 major weather systems collided to wreak havoc on the Ohio River Valley. First, you had a swath of Arctic air that was descending upon the Midwest from Canada. At the leading edge of this air mass, heavy snow fell in Minnesota and Wisconsin. But that pesky surface low of the same variety that caused the snow in Denver had developed over Texas. This thing flew to the east in 48 hours, gaining strength as it ingested moisture from the Gulf.
So the faster a storm moves, the more violent the weather will be? Is that that right?
That moisture was
Would that be correct?
ultimately forced upward over the Arctic air, condensing into a giant diagonal line of snow, sleet, and freezing rain, a winter slurry that piled upon Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois over the course of 2 days. While Medora, Indiana saw a record 39 inches of snowfall, Ohio was decimated.
No way, look at the cherries. Oh.
678,000 residents.
Hey, let me tell you something, man. I was literally spend 3 years in the fucking airport. If I look out the window and the planes look like this, I will permanently live in the airport. There's no way I'm getting on a plane if I see the flipping, this is going on the wings. Hell no. Looks like melted fucking cheese.
Across the state lost power, mainly in Columbus. The Woodland Meadows subdivision, which was one of the largest apartment complexes in the United States for government-subsidized tenants, was hit the hardest. 1,000 residents, the power was cut for multiple days, which was one of the largest apartment complexes in the United States for government-subsidized tenants, was hit the hardest. Affecting over 1,000 residents, the power was cut for multiple days, the boiler system failed, pipes froze and burst, and basements were flooded. None of this was ever repaired, and a few years later, the city voted to demolish the deteriorating 122 buildings.
None of it was ever repaired. Why? Did the government just not want to put their hand in the pocket? Why did they just, hey, scrap that? Why did they just, why? It gotta be a money thing, right? Maybe it just wasn't worth. That's crazy though, considering 1,000 people lived there. Did they all move out? What happened to them all? Can you imagine this happening? Fucking hell.
For those not living in the apartment complex, travel was impossible due to the mixture of snow and ice, and hundreds of flights were canceled. Interstates I-65, 70, 71, and 74 were closed for over 12 hours, and hundreds of motorists were stranded on I-64 in Indiana for over 24 hours. The storm resulted in $900 million in damage and 17 deaths. So far, we've seen an instance of a surface low developing near Denver, as well as in central Texas. But how far south can these things bring snowfall? It happened in Houston literally the day after the snowstorm we just talked about. Yeah, 2004 was wild, apparently. After the low pressure system exited Ohio, Arctic air spilled southward across the entire U.S. east of the Rockies. On Christmas Eve, temperatures were only in the mid-30s across central Texas, with the edge of the Arctic front sitting over Houston. And just south of that front, a surface low developed near San Fernando, Mexico, moving into the Gulf of Mexico. The temperatures were cold enough on that northern side that considerable snow was able to develop on Christmas Eve, dropping 4 inches of snow in Corpus Christi and a whopping foot of snow in Victoria. It was the first white Christmas ever for this area. Now, of course, all that snow melted within 48 hours because as that Arctic air lifted, that warm Gulf...
That was the first ever white Christmas in Texas in 2004. Of all time, since records began. What?
Air came surging back. But what an incredible Christmas that must have been for southern Texans. Now, you probably have noticed a pattern here. These surface lows like to spin up along temperature boundaries on the southeastern side of a trough of cold air. Another place where low pressure systems like to develop is the Atlantic Ocean. Hell, that's what a hurricane is after all, just a very intense one. So picture this. A historic blast of cold air descends southeastward from Canada, covering the Great Lakes, the Deep South, and the Mid-Atlantic. What would happen if a surface low developed over the Atlantic, moved northward up the coast right up against the cold air? If you guess the largest snowstorm to ever occur in the southeastern United States, then you're probably familiar with the Christmas coastal snowstorm of 1989. The wave of cold air that covered the southeast was so potent that low temperature records were shattered. Houston Airport measured 7 degrees, High Springs, Florida measured 8 degrees, Wilmington, North Carolina measured 7 degrees, even Key West hit 44 degrees. The cold wave devastated the vast majority of citrus crops across the southeast and even damaged agriculture in Mexico's Rio Grande Valley.
I didn't think it got cold in Florida at all. like this type of cold, or was this like a one only type of thing?
Over the course of 2 days, 18 inches of snow fell in Wilmington, North Carolina, 8 inches in Charleston, South Carolina, 4 inches in Savannah, Georgia, and even flurries were spotted in Tampa, Florida. Lake Waccamaw to the east of Wilmington had actually frozen over, which was only the second time in the entire 20th century for that to happen. Now, this storm was technically a nor'easter, which is what they call a winter storm in New England that involves wind blowing out of the northeast. It does this because the wind blows counterclockwise in low pressure systems, and when they ride up the Atlantic coast, the snow and moisture blow out of the northeast. Nor'easters can get bad, like all-time historic bad. Due to the relatively warm temperature of the Atlantic Ocean in close proximity to cold land, these systems can get very intense. One historic nor'easter that occurred around Christmas was in December of 1969. To add another layer of complexity, the system started off as a surface low that was in December.
Look at that, look at that. Like that's 1969. I would say none of them cars have got aircon, bro. You know what I mean? Like no insulation in the houses is probably not that good either. Like it must have been cold as shit.
December of 1969. To add another layer of complexity, the system started off as a surface low that spun up on the border of warm and cold air in Texas, traveled 1,200 miles across the US in 24 hours, and once it hit the Atlantic Ocean, it turned northward and became a nor'easter. It picked up a ton of moisture along the way, creating an environment of intense instability, even dropping a few dozen tornadoes in the deep south. But by the time it reached New Jersey, it stalled out, and that was bad news for New England. Upstate New York, mainly the Adirondacks and Vermont, saw over 30 inches of snow. Montreal saw 27, and everywhere else saw between 30 and 20 inches. Snowdrifts were as high as 30 feet in some cities. Boston, close to the low center, received 100-mile-an-hour wind gusts. The entire eastern half of the New York Thruway was closed on the 27th, deemed impassable. What may have been worse than the snow...
Man, how long does it take this to clear? Like, if a road is closed and it's deemed impassable, how long does that take? How long is it closed for? A day? I'm assuming the sun has to come out and burn it all away, but like, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
The ice. Over 2 inches of ice accumulated on roofs, power lines, trees, and cars in Vermont. And the thing about ice, it's a lot heavier and denser than snow. Dozens of homes, industrial warehouses, and barns suffered collapsed roofs, killing several people and livestock. Jesus. It was reported that this layer of ice stayed on surfaces for an entire month.
I feel like that's one thing you don't really think about whenever you think about like cold winters coming in. You know, you never think of the wee farm animals out there. Oh, it's kind of heartbreaking, isn't it? Like the cows and chickens and all just run about, absolutely fucking Baltic. Sad, man.
While New York City escaped the brunt of this particular nor'easter, they're in no way immune to winter storms. Such is the case for the Great Blizzard of 19...
That's gotta be AI. What? That must be fucking... What, 2 feet? That's 2 feet of snow sitting there.
1947. Because most weather systems in the US moved from west to east, the Weather Bureau at the time had a system in place to identify and forecast weather systems that would strike New York from the west. So when an area of low pressure developed over the Atlantic Ocean and moved west towards the city, it took everyone by surprise.
Yep.
What was forecasted to be a cold day with flurries ended up as a non-stop intense snowfall with rates up to 3 inches an hour.
Like, surely these cars are done. Surely these cars are finished, man. Surely, you know what I mean? Come on now. Surely these cars aren't making a comeback after this. They're done. Get them into the scrapyard. You know what I mean? Surely they're all froze, bro.
These were huge snowflake clusters too, which meant one of two things. One, the temperature above the ground was near freezing, and two, there was very little wind. This wasn't like the 1969 nor'easter. It was a very peaceful yet heavy, crippling snowfall. Snowplows were not ready to go, and as a result, the 26 inches of snow that had fallen by the end of the day, December 26th, had stopped New York City. Across the way in New Jersey, it set the all-time record for most snowfall within a 24-hour period with 29.7 inches of accumulation. It's estimated that the unexpected snowfall was responsible for 77...
Whoa, look at New York, man. Awesome. Really cool. That's the Empire State Building there, innit? I was standing there 2 weeks ago.
Deaths.
Crazy.
We've covered snowstorms from mid-latitude cyclones and nor'easters, but there's one more important type of snowstorm specific to one area of the country: lake effect snow. I made a full video about lake effect snow a long time ago. Link is up here if you want to watch it.
This guy is reminding me of someone, and I don't know who it is. It's an actor. It's doing my head in. He looks like him even more in this. I don't know who it is, and if someone knows, please help me out. Oh my god, it's the guy from Ready Player One. It's him. I knew it.
No, a long time ago. Link is up here if you want to watch it. But November and December are usually the time when lake effect snow is at its peak. The Great Lakes are still relatively warm and unfrozen, and they can inject a lot of moisture into that dry, cold air, causing constant snowfall on the lee side of the Great Lakes. Buffalo just so happens to be in the exact spot where lake effect snow is maximized from westerly winds, and this can result in catastrophic multi-day snow events. This particular event was caused by a surface low that developed in northern Colorado and moved eastward on a trajectory that caused the Arctic air to blow at the exact angle of the major axis of Lake Erie. So in other words, directly parallel to the length of the lake, funneling the moistened air into Buffalo and causing 5 days of nonstop snow. By the end of the day on December 28th, 82 inches of snow fell at Buffalo International Airport.
Oh my
The normal
good God.
snow accumulation for the entire winter season.
That is a wild photo. Love, you are going to be there all day. Put it down, get the kettle on. Let the sun do the job. You know what I mean?
Is 93 inches. So essentially, the city saw almost an entire year's worth of snow in just 5 days.
Crazy.
It blew all previous snow records out of the water. What's even more ironic is the previous month, November, was the first November on record that Buffalo saw no snow whatsoever. The city was declared a disaster area and the National Guard was sent in with bucket loaders to help unearth the city. But because it's Buffalo and the people and the infrastructure are well seasoned for an intense winter snowstorm.
I don't understand what makes things collapse though. Like why are garages collapsing and roofs caving in if it's just snow? Is snow heavy? You know? Is like a foot of snow that heavy? I mean, it might have a bit of weight to it, but like, should it be making roofs collapse? I suppose it depends what it's made of. But like, damn.
The entire event only resulted in 2 deaths. About every 5 to 10 years, Buffalo has seen an intense multi-day lake effect snow event, and I'm sure you remember the one that happened this year in November as well. As for a White Christmas this year, we have several systems sweeping through the upper Midwest and Great Lakes region right now, so we'll see if we get that White Christmas. Real quick, I want to thank you guys for all the support this year.
You're welcome.
I remember we started off the year with 74 subscribers.
You did not. This guy's built a fucking YouTube channel up to 119,000 subscribers in a year. Oh no, hold on, man. This is uploaded 2 years ago. Oh, never mind. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's insane, man. Some of that is insane. Like, I've said this before. Whenever I do these reaction videos, you may think, oh, Adam, it's snow. Well, okay. We don't get that here. So I compare everything that happens where I live to this. And this is fucking nuts, man. If this happened here, if that sort of snow happened where I live, the whole country would be shut down for about 8 years. We need time to recover, need time to talk about it, need time to talk about it even more. But yeah, absolutely insane. Like I said, we whenever we get snow, it rarely lies on the ground and it just melt away. So one year we did have snow and everyone had a meltdown. But it's always cool seeing this sort of stuff. Shocking, but very, very cool. I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction video. Goodbye.